Howdy, thanks for tuning in. I'm 26, I'm exploring the country in my homemade RV, and I'm trying to find some land to purchase and start a camp of my own. My last name's Cavender, and well, I'm looking to start a camp, so hence the name Camp Cavender. Just starting YouTube and social media, so very open to feedback. Let me know what you guys want to see, what you like, what you don't like. And please enjoy the video. Boon Heifer is the name of my truck. I was boondocking when I named her, and she just happens to be a great boondocking vehicle, and I happen to be standing next to a heifer. That's how that name came about. Now, this is the footage of my truck, good old Boon Heifer, coming up on the Teton Mountains. I'll be honest with you, I didn't even know the Teton Mountains existed until I got close to the park, and as I was talking to some fellow travelers, everyone just kept bringing it up as their favorite mountain range or one of the most incredible things they've ever seen in their life. So naturally, I added it to my itinerary, and I am glad that I did. I used the annual park pass that I got as a gift before I left for the trip, so I'm able to enter any national park at no charge. Again, the driving through the Tetons is superb. Just the way they laid out the road to go through the park is incredible. The Teton mountain range is solely in Wyoming. Yellowstone actually goes into Montana. The Teton Range is thought to be the youngest mountain range in the Rocky Mountains, with its formation beginning between 6 and 9 million years ago. The Tetons received their name from French-Canadian trappers who accompanied the earliest British expeditions into this territory. As they approached the range from the west, they beheld 3 towering mountains, upon which they bestowed the name Trios Tetons, which translates to 3 beasts. And here we are. We made it to Yellowstone National Park. Yellowstone's interesting. It was actually the first national park in the world, created by Ulysses S. Grant in 1872. And the reason that's interesting is there's only 3 expeditions that explored the area over the years 1869 to 1871, before Yellowstone became the protected national park. Really just gives you an idea of how breathtaking the land is that after 3 expeditions, you create a national park for it. As I was talking about before, it's mostly in Wyoming, but 3% of the park is actually in Montana, and to my surprise, 1% actually overlaps into Idaho. The park itself is massive. It is larger than the state of Rhode Island and Delaware combined. About 5% of the park is covered by water, 15% by grassland, and the other 80% forests. The number of annual visitors is rather staggering. Their top year to date, with the year they had the most visitors ever, was 2021, where they had over 4.8 million people come to the park. My biggest recommendation if you're deciding to visit Yellowstone is go in the morning and stay away from the weekends. As you can see here, I'm driving by and it's late afternoon now, and this little bit of line of traffic and all these cars you see parked on the side of the road are all going to Grand Prismatic, which I skipped on this day due to the fact that honestly I didn't know that line went to Grand Prismatic and just didn't feel like waiting in the line. But I actually came back the following day, and I'll include some footage of that at the end of this video. Yellowstone got its name after the Yellowstone River, which is the major river running through the park. Now, I feel like when most people talk about Yellowstone, what comes to mind is the wildlife. In Yellowstone, there's 67 species of mammals, 285 species of birds, 16 species of fish, 5 species of amphibians, 6 species of reptiles, and 2 threatened species, the Canada lynx and, of course, the notorious grizzly bear. I was fortunate enough to see a grizzly bear while I was exploring the park, along with actually quite a bit of bison. And the chances that you're going to run into wildlife, again, are much higher if you explore the park in the wee hours of the morning on a weekday before you have all the traffic rushing through it. You'll notice a lot more of the wildlife is much more likely to be by the road, or at least that's what I've noticed. And again, the driving through this park is just incredible. You know, here I have a river rushing to my left. And I must say, it's just some of the most fun I've ever had driving this truck. Now, after I went through the park, I went out of the West Yellowstone entrance, which just crossed over into Montana. And I must say, as a first introduction to the wonderful state of Montana, I loved it. It's absolutely beautiful. And just a great little small town after a long day of traveling through a national park. I ended up boondocking just up the street at this little pull off of the road where big truckers would hang out, and there's a bunch of other campers there, just parked there for the evening. It was a perfect little town for what it was. There's a nice museum there, which I'd highly recommend visiting. Plenty of RV parks if you don't have a Boon Heifer that could boondock without problem. There's plenty of places you could hook up. Plenty of hotels, restaurants, but not too much. It's not overdone. It's still a small, quaint town. It's really the perfect mix. After asking around town a little bit, I figured out that there's a nice little spot for a few bucks. You can get a nice hot shower. So I figured I'd give it a go in the back of this laundromat here. But oh boy, I wouldn't say it's for everyone. Definitely cheap, but you get what you're paying for here. That's for sure. Worked for me, I will say. It was a nice shower, but maybe not everyone's cup of tea. And if you're just a hiker, they did have an outlet there. Ended off my Yellowstone experience at the Grand Prismatic Spring. It's actually the third largest hot spring in the world, and it's located in the Midway Geyser Basin. It's 121 feet deep. Thank you for tuning into this video. I know it's not the best YouTube video you've probably ever seen, but honestly, just learning how to mess around and make videos like this. So if you have any recommendations for me, if you want to see something more specific, do more of one thing, less of another, just let me know. Videos will be getting better every week. Thanks for sticking with me. Bye.